Well, this morning's passage is this interesting story of Jesus taking 3 disciples up to a mountaintop so that they might draw near to God. And Jesus is transfigured before their eyes. In a Moses-like sort of experience, going up a mountaintop and being close to God, Jesus is transformed into a blinding light. We're told he shone like the sun, which is the same sort of description as what happened to Moses. It's a strange story, this mystical revelation of Jesus' true identity to his disciples. And they see him in this moment as he really is. His robes glow like the sun. They then see Moses and Elijah standing with him and talking with him. And for one glorious moment, it's like the curtain between us and God has been pulled back, and the 3 disciples see clearly. They hear from heaven a voice saying, "This is my Son, whom I love, and I'm very pleased with him. Listen to him." Peter says, "Well, it's so good that I'm here. I'll make 3 tents, one for you, and one for Moses, one for Elijah." In a sense, he wants this wonderful moment to last forever. But Jesus doesn't allow that. Jesus comes and touches them and raises them up from bowing down. And they all together walk down the mountain again into the valley, and they hit the road towards Jerusalem. And this story is sort of a parable for us. Those who've followed Jesus, who he has come to and called, and we follow him up that mountain. That mountaintop experience that maybe transforms our life, maybe changes the way we see things and we understand the truth about God. And then he walks with us back into the valley of our ordinary lives. Some of us are probably like that this very morning, coming here to this service hoping that you might be lifted out of the humdrum and the daily routines of your life, that you might be inspired, that you might find that the service takes you to places that you don't usually go. Wouldn't it be nice if church was always like that, every Sunday, going up that mountaintop, drawing close to God and feeling the curtain drawn back, and we see the reality of God right there close to us. And lots of people think that's what church is about, a mountaintop experience. I heard it said that on any given Sunday, churches are in fact full of people like that, coming to church on a regular basis because once, sometime in the past, they had this experience of God that changed their life and how they saw the world. And they knew God so close to them. And the reality of God's presence was powerful and amazing. And then they keep coming back, hoping to grab hold of that again. But those kind of experiences, they're a gift from God. They're special because they don't happen every day. For these 3 disciples, we never hear of it happening again, or anything quite like it until Jesus' crucifixion, where they say, he was lifted up before us. He was glorified before us, but in a different way. But that's where they see the reality of God again. And in some ways, as Cynthia was getting us to remember those times that we shared of maybe miraculous healing, amazing times when they saw God in the actions, the compassion of people around them, those things are a gift from God. They are amazing. They're special. They may not be the kind of thing that happen to us very often. And sometimes they're the kind of thing that might happen here in a church service. And when that does happen, it's no less a gift from God. It's not because I've managed to say the right words or the music team have managed to hit the right notes. That's a gift of God to you. When everything comes together and you are brought close to God in that very special moment, that's a gift. And while those moments are really helpful for the journey, they're not the whole journey. You can't, in some ways, base your whole faith on that one experience or live the whole journey from the mountaintop. What we see in this story is that Jesus doesn't let them stay. Even though Peter wanted to, he thought he could make it last even just for a long time by building tents and staying there for a while. But Jesus says no and leads them back down that mountain to their lives. There is a work to do, there is a journey to take, and sitting on the mountaintop wasn't ever going to get that done. And what we see is that in a strange way, it's the journey that is in fact more important than the mountaintop. As I said, those mountaintop experiences, those times when we're so close to God, they're really important for the journey, but they're not the journey itself. What I see as a minister is the reality that people might have those kind of experiences in their life, but their faith becomes stagnant sometimes until they start working for God. Until they start sort of putting their gifts into action, and there's a sense where they have to rely on God. When people take those steps of faith of being on the journey day in and day out, and there comes that reliance on God for the daily things, that's when people's faith starts to grow. Constantly being forced to pray, God, we need this. God, we need you to come and cover this gap. We can't do it on our own because we're stepping out in faith. That's when faith really starts to take off. And I see it in your lives and in the lives of many people. It's when you're taking those steps of faith, walking the journey, that you realise God and Jesus walk with you every step of the way. And I love Cynthia's stories. If their moment of need, and it's that need that drives us to depend on God. When we realise we can't do it in our own strength. They had no physical, money or passports, or they couldn't work themselves out of a tough spot. They were forced to rely on someone else. And in those people saw the love, the compassion that God shows us. And I've seen people just start programs at their local church, decide, well, we're going to do this for the children or for the school or for a mum's group or for whatever, and very quickly realise, oh crikey, we don't have enough food, we don't have enough this, we need more helpers, we can't do it on our own. And they pray, God, we need more help. And you know what happens? God provides. and their faith is encouraged, and they realise, it wasn't happening under our strength at all. It was God all along. And I read a really great story about a wife whose husband passed away, and he was a manager of a large company and employed a lot of people in a small country town. And the chairman of the company board came to the wife and said, I know it's a difficult time for you and everything, losing your husband, but all of these workers, they need some kind of confidence that you're going to keep the company going, that they're still going to have jobs, next week. And she said, well, I can't do it. And so she thought about it a little more and went to her local priest and said, I couldn't do this. He's asked me to go to a meeting of all the staff and tell them what's happening to the company. And I don't think I can stand up there and talk to them about the company or what might happen by myself. I need you to come with me. I can't do it on my own. And so the pastor went with her, and she stood up and told the people that she would continue the company. And it was a wonderful just reflection on how many times we in our lives might say the same thing to God. I can't do this on my own, but if you come and stand next to me, I could do it. I could be brave enough to say what needs to be said. And I know I've done that for people in funerals, where somebody has lost maybe a mother or a father often, and it's a young person saying, well, I want to tell this story about mum or dad, but I don't think I could do it. I'll be too emotional. And I've said, well, I'll be standing right there, and if you start and you can't finish, then I'll just take over and read from where you stop. And very rarely do I have to. I can't actually remember having to, but just knowing that there'd be somebody there helps them to do that difficult task. And it's like we say to God sometimes, God, I couldn't do this unless you come with me. The good news is, he does. At the end of this little story, where is Jesus? Where's Jesus in this story? He's not up on the mountaintop with Moses and Elijah in the glory of God. No, he walks down the mountain with the 3 disciples and hits the road with them. So next time you hear yourself saying that to Jesus, I can't do this, God, I can't do this unless you come with me. Remember the good news of this story. He does. He does.